What's up, everybody? It's your boy Will Games 215 underscore in the building, and today I'm here with the review of Eden Zero episode 1 and 2. Um, Giving my thoughts on the episodes, what I enjoyed about the episodes, and how I think the series is going to go. Based off the first two episodes, I feel like it's going to continuously get better because the manga has continuously got better. So without further ado, we're going to jump on into the video. But before we do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you enjoy the content, let's dive on in. So at the beginning of the episode, we have Shiki, Ziggy, and Michael basically talking about how space is vast. Shiki um, about mother, like how they're talking about mother, and how the comet that Shiki saw was actually a dragon, and that leads Shiki, to get excited as a kid or whatever, and Ziggy tells him, to go out, make friends when she gets older, which I find weird because they're talking about how space is so vast, but they treat Granbell as like a city on the planet. Like, I had that issue when I first read the manga. How they like I like that it was actually like a twist. Like when you read the manga, you think Eden Zero is just going to take place on this one planet, but it turns out that there's multiple planets within the cosmos. So like throughout the beginning of the episode, they're basically treating Granbell as if it's just the only thing uh like on this planet, and that there's other kingdoms within the planet of Granbell. So fast forward, um we go now, we're introduced to Rebecca. um I kind of feel like the pacing for episode 1 was really really fast, and I feel like they didn't want to drag it along because I think the first chapter was like 50 something pages, if I'm not mistaken. So I kind of get why the pacing was fast, because I felt like we jumped like really really quick, like around like we were just talking to them, and then boom, here we go with the Rebecca and Happy, and then their interaction with everyone in Granbell. And I feel like in the manga that was better per se than the anime, because I feel like you got the gist of like Rebecca was the first human there in 100 years. It was like a bigger deal in the manga. In the anime, it was like, oh look, we have a guess. It's been like 100 years, and they all start coming out. But I do like how in the anime you can clearly tell that the robots are beaten up. Like they're getting near their end. Like in the manga, you couldn't really tell, but in the anime, I like, if you pay attention to detail, the robots are like, they have like the little lines and like the scuff marks on them, and I like that it shows that, like, yeah, they are actually reaching their limit, which we'll get into like towards the end. But um, Rebecca basically is saying like, "Can I record things going on here?" And they're just like confused to what she's talking about. So then we have a little montage of her doing things. Then they tell her she could go on a quest, and that will be something great that she could record. So her and Happy go into the forest to get footage. This is where we're introduced to Shiki. So instantly, I like the interaction between Rebecca and Shiki off automatically, because it wasn't like, hey, let's be friends. It was more like he wanted to be friends with her, but she's more like, bro, who are you? Like that, you're weird. Like I like that interaction, and I feel like in the anime you got that vibe more. As Shiki's like fondling her, she kicks him, she stomps on him, and then she runs away from him. And she's like, this dude is weird. Like, I liked that aspect of them meeting. It was more realistic. Like, bro, I don't want to be friends with you. I don't know you. You just don't walk up to people saying, can we be friends? Like, so I actually liked that interaction with Shiki and Rebecca. I thought that was really really well done in the anime. Then you then when we fast forward to her running away, she goes to a pub, and basically, like, I thought that there were only bots on this planet, but there's a human here. And they're like, oh, that's Tashiki. Like he was brought here by the Demon King. Automatically, Rebecca's like Demon King. Like that's just not. We're not just gonna gloss over that. But and Shiki appears, and then this is where you start to see the bond that Shiki has with all of the robots, and this is where Rebecca starts to see like, oh, he's not as weird. He just grew up on a planet full of robots, but like because you see her watching Shiki interact with all of the robots that are in the pub, and this interaction I really like in the anime more because you can really feel that they're everything to Shiki. Like these are his friends. This is his family. This is what he knows, who he grew up around. So I liked that part a lot in the anime. I really, really enjoyed that their interaction. Then we have the montage. They're eating, drinking, and Rebecca's like taking it all in. And I like that. And then Shiki falls and Rebecca cuts his hair. And then we go to her and Happy in bed where she's like editing her videos, which I like that we saw. I think we saw that in the manga, but I like that it was incorporated here. So she's like editing her videos, and then Shiki wakes up like, what's going on? But I feel like in the manga, Rebecca woke up first to realize that she was surrounded, and then Shiki woke up. But Shiki woke up first, said his hair was cut, and he was looking around for everybody. Because while they were in the pub, a robot was looking through the window, and he ran to the Castleman robot and was basically telling him, like, there's a human here. Now we have to interact. I'm sorry, not interact. Now we have to put our plan in motion, basically. So I actually, that was cool. Like for us manga readers, we know what the plan really was, but like to see them like now this is it. I feel like the voice acting for the robots when they turned on Shiki and Rebecca could have been a little more dark, but it was good for what it was. Then we have Shiki do his thing. Him and the King Castle robot. I forgot his name. They get a fight after they start stomping Shiki out, like legit stomping him out. And then you have Rebecca saying he thought you guys were all friends. Like don't do this. Um and I think did she shed a tear? And then Shiki has a flashback to Ziggy, like if you find a friend who sheds a tear for you, cherish that friend. So then he all the robots and Happy finally wakes up and gets Rebecca out of the restraints. So this version of Happy I like way more, which I'll get into with the episode 2 review. Which I liked him more in the in the manga. You could tell this version of Happy is way different, and I like this version a lot. And another thing that I liked about the anime is they really did a good job of bringing out the comedy aspect of Shiki, Rebecca, and their surroundings, which I've really really enjoyed because I always felt like Eden Zero was hilarious. Um, but to see it animated, it's really really it's really really good. Like the comedy is really really good. And we get the fight scene with Shiki, and they see that he has ether gear. Rebecca's like, "What?" And Happy's like, "That's a power from the Dark Ages. Like he is strong, basically." And then Shiki takes Rebecca. They fly sideways, which freaks them out. And then the movements in the air were really really good. The punch I didn't really care for because I felt like it was just like a colored panel, basically like an animated panel. But Shiki's movements in the air, like him dodging the rockets, and then him saying androids have way better marksmanship than humans, but Shiki is still dodging every attack. I really really enjoyed that a lot. Um, I really really did. Like Shiki was moving through the air like it was like butter. Like it was really smooth. So I really enjoyed it. It was like whoosh, 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 and then he hits him with the punch, and then they fly off basically, and then they get in the ship and they fly off. And when they all fly off, then they say we had to do this because we didn't want Shiki to be alone. The flashback of Ziggy saying that they're all about to shut down, so we had to do this for Shiki to get off of the planet because we didn't want him to be alone. So the first human, basically whatever human came, they was going to push Shiki off on that human. It just so happened to be Rebecca. And then at the end of the episode, Shiki's crying, he's upset, and he's ended up seeing a comet, but it's a dragon. And Rebecca explains to him, that that's a dragon, blah, blah, blah. And the dragon goes to Mother. Now, the dragon compared to Mother, the dragon was huge compared to Shiki and Rebecca. Then you get the comparison to the dragon and Mother is freaking huge. Like the manga does not do her justice with how big she is. Like she's really freaking huge. Like and she says his adventure finally begins. I completely forgot about that part, which really really leads me to believe I have like this really weird theory after watching episodes 1 and 2. I feel like Shiki is like Xenolith. Like I don't know why. Like I just got this weird freaking feeling. Like because in episode 2, which I might as well just get into it. Episode 2, they say an adventurer went out and found Mother, and that's the image that he brought back of her. So I had this weird theory. I'm like, is Shiki like a different version of Xenolith, like, or like or is he like a version of Ziggy? I was just like having these weird theories. Like they're probably not true, but I'm like, is Shiki Ziggy? Is Shiki Xenolith? Like it was just weird. Like they were emphasizing on like Mother and Shiki like a lot, like the first 2 episodes, and I really didn't get that vibe in the manga, but in the anime they were like referencing that a lot. What else? The scene with Shiki and when he first met Mother, I like what they did because um Ziggy told Shiki, if you meet Mother, she can grant you any wish. So when he first sees the hologram of Mother, he runs up to her and says, I wish for 100 francs. Rebecca, and then everybody's like, what's wrong with him? Like, why is he, what's wrong with the boy? Why he act like that? Like, what's wrong with him? I like that because this is also giving, Shiki is like, well, what's wrong with them? Like, why don't they like me? Why don't they want to be my friends? And Rebecca's like, bring back glasses, Rebecca, bro. Bring her back. I'm sorry to cut off the idea like that, but bring back Rebecca with glasses. She was absolutely stunning with the glasses on. But back to them. He's like, why don't they want to be friends with me, basically? And then that was the first inkling he had, and she's like, well, there's good people and there's bad people, so not everybody's basically going to want to be your friend, Shiki. Then Shiki says, wait, now that I look at her, I know her. Like, I've met her before. This also brings now everybody's laughing at Shiki. And because Shiki doesn't know about human interaction, he doesn't really understand what's going on, and Rebecca's just looking like, oh, here we go. And they're basically like, you sure that wasn't your mommy? Taunting Shiki, and he's like, do y'all want to be my friends? And then that sets him off even more, and they just continue to clown Shiki. This is when Rebecca pulls him away, and like, you can't just go around asking everybody to be your friend. Like, it doesn't work that way. Like, you have to build up to the friendship. Like, you can't just be like, be my friend, be my friend, be my friend, because people are gonna look at you like, bro, like, what's wrong with him? Like then Happy's kidnapped while Rebecca and Shiki are talking. As soon as he gets kidnapped, now we're getting the flashback of Rebecca and Happy, because this basically the second chapter of Eden Zero was all about Rebecca and Happy. So we're getting flashbacks, which I really wonder about Rebecca now, like, because I haven't, like, I really want to go back and reread Eden Zero from like chapter 1 until now. Like, I'm curious, like, who's Rebecca's parents, because she was abandoned. Happy was abandoned. Why was he abandoned on this planet? It's almost like they were brought together, like by fate in a way. Like, so, like, we first get the flashback of her meeting Happy, and he's just sitting in the alleyway, and she's like, well, why are you just sitting? Are you hungry, basically? And he's like, yeah. And why are you here? And he says he doesn't know. Then Shiki chases after, and then while he's chasing after the guy who kidnaps Happy, we get another flashback, And now we're getting a montage of Rebecca and Happy just eating together, bathing together, playing together. They're building a friendship. They don't want to be alone because now that they found each other, they're not alone anymore. So then we get them in bed, and that's when she asks him, "Why were you alone?" And he says, "I think I was abandoned." And then the saddest moment of the episode, Rebecca says, "I think I was abandoned too." And it looks like they're sleeping in a junkyard. Now, that part hit like it made me love Rebecca even more. Like to see her backstory, part of her backstory, not the whole thing, but part of her backstory animated. Then Shiki's running on walls after the flashback, and as he's running, he's like, "Oh, you're a man, you're you're a woman, but you look different than Rebecca. You're a man, but you're skinny. You're a woman, but you're big," basically calling her fat. And there people are just looking at him like first of all, it's not normal that you're running on walls. Like that's not normal. Like, but he's just running through, and he finally captures the guy, and does a day machina. I mean, not day machina. A Maggie Mech attack gravity center, and he slams the truck down. I feel like the slam could have been better because it kind of was like a falling boom. But the slam could have been better. But Happy breaks, not breaks, but Happy and the kidnapper are then met by Aniki, his big brother, and he's just like what's going on? He's like, I found it exceed. They go for a lot of money. Rebecca catches up to them, and he's like, I know you. Then they make fun of her channel, and then when they see that Shiki has ether gear, he attacks them because they have Happy, and the guy takes out a machine gun, and he's like, ah! And I find this part sad as well. Then we get the flashback because as he breaks the glass, um, Happy transforms, and when he transforms, we get the flashback of him being hit by a truck. Now, I think Rebecca got hit by that truck too. I know they talked about it when her ether gear activated. Um, People were saying like they think that she went back in time and dodged the truck, or she sped out the way and never activated her ether gear again. At that point, actually, she's been subconsciously activating her ether gear 29 times up until drinking. So she they both get hit, but she's like hurt, but like not as hurt as Happy, who died. This Happy has had way more character development than that Happy and Fairy Tale within two freaking episodes. Well, actually, within one episode, he's had way more character development than Happy with Natsu. People are telling her, "Don't pick up the dead cat. Like it's just gross. It's disgusting." But to her, that's her friend. Like he got ran over. He's done. He's dead. Like in the manga, older Vase was there, and he told her he can bring it back to life or whatever. And here she's just crying, and then we see him transform, and then she starts dishing out headshots, and then we have another flashback with him saying, "I'm an android now," and she's like, "Happy's happy. It doesn't matter if you're a human or android. You're still my friend. Like regardless of what you are, you're still my friend." This makes Shiki happy. Like I really did find a good friend because she feels the same way I felt while I was on Granville. Like these are all my friends, whether they're human or not. So I really like that. And then we get they're like she's dishing out all headshots, and then we get the tag team. Shiki brings her up into the air because he activates two more turrets on his gun, and Shiki brings her up into the air and then drops her, and she does headshots on him and the remaining group on him, and then he falls, and she's standing there, and then the guy who kidnapped Happy tries to attack her from behind, and she hits him, bam, no look headshot, because we all know Rebecca's a great markswoman. So I felt like episodes 1 and 2 were really really good. It gets you more invested in the characters for people who are like anime only. because you know all of us we're like 139 chapters in, so we know about these characters, we're invested in these characters, like. But I feel like within the first two episodes they did a really good job making you care about Shiki, Rebecca, and Happy, especially Rebecca and Happy. Like they did a really really good job of that. So I'm actually really excited for episode 3, because at the end of episode 2 we got introduced to Elsie, and one of the guys was like, who looks like the one Urza fought on Tenru Island. um, but basically he's like, the Demon King's son, grandson left. That's his exact words. Son, I mean grandson, left Granbell, and she's like, I guess things are being set in motion. Let's go to Blue Garden. And that's the end of the episode. I really really enjoyed it. Can't wait for more. Um, I feel like the anime is going to do a really really good job adapting the manga. I hope they don't get lazy, because like with Norma, Norma is a really really chill arc. Like not that much happens. I like we get introduced to Vase, and the fights aren't like major to where they have to put like a lot of detail into it, but the fights are okay. So I hope they do really good with that. But when we get to Gills, I'm expecting the works, because Gills is my favorite arc in the Sakura Cosmos, second to Digitalis, and third to Draken's arc. But and Sunjewel. The first half of Eden Zero was just like gold. Like I can't even. But Gills was one of my favorite arcs, so I hope they do justice to Gills. Like, because I think they're gonna cover. I wonder how far the anime is gonna go, because I think it's seasonal. So I wonder how far it's gonna go. I wonder if it's gonna go from Blue Garden, Norma, Gills. What was after Gills? Was it Midland Coliseum? No, because they had Herman at that point. I wonder how far they're going to go. I wonder if they're going to go all the way to Draken, or if they're going to stop it at Gilst and then do season 2, like Digitalis and Sun Jewel and Midland Coliseum, and then like Draken's big arc. I wonder how far they're going to go. Um, but yeah, that's going to do it for the review. Let me know what you guys thought of the episodes 1 and 2. If you're excited for Eden Zero, and just your thoughts in general. It's your boy Will Games 215 underscore in the building. I'm out. Peace everybody. Peace everybody. Follow me on social media. Will Games 215 underscore YT, and deuces.